students, today we are going to learn chapter number 2, History and Evolution of Computers. Before starting this lesson, I explain you the definition of computer. A computer is an electronic machine that accepts information, process it according to specific instruction and provides the result as new information. Now, the earliest computer. Now, I explain you history of computer. Earliest computer. Originally, calculations were computed by humans whose job title was computers. These human computers were typically engaged in the calculation of a mathematical expression. The calculations of this period were specialized and expensive, requiring years of training in mathematics. The first use of the word computer was recorded in 1613. Referring to a person who carried out calculation or computations, and the word continued to be used in that sense until the middle of the 20th century. Look at this picture. This picture was tally stick. A tally stick was an ancient memory aid device to record and document numbers, quantities, or even messages. It was store the number of documents and quantity or even a messages. Abacus. An abacus is mechanical devices used to aid an individual in performing mathematical calculations. The abacus was invented in Babylonia in 2400 BC. The abacus in the form we are most familiar with was first used in China in around 500 BC. The abacus was used to perform basic arithmetic operation. Look at this picture. The first one is earlier abacus and second one was modern abacus. Now move to next point, Napier's bonds. It was invented by John Napier in 1614. Allowed the operator to multiply, divide and calculate square and cube roots by moving the rods around and placing them in specially constructed balls. In Napier, with the use of Napier bonds, we are using multiply, divide and calculate square roots and cube roots. Now, slide rule. Slide rule was invented by William Oughtred in 1622 based on Napier's idea about logarithms. It was used primarily for multiplication, division roots, logarithm, trigonometry. Now next, not normally used for addition or subtraction. It means with the use of slide rule, we cannot use addition or subtraction. Next, Pascaline. Pascaline was invented by Blaise Pascal in 1642. It was its limitation to addition and subtraction. It is too expensive. Look at this figure. The picture is Pascaline. It is too expensive. Next, steppered reckoner. was invented by Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in 1672. The machine that can add, subtract, multiply and divide automatically with the use of Stephen Reckoner. We are using subtract, multiply and divide automatically. Jacquard loom. The Jacquard loom is a mechanical loom invented by Joseph Marie Jacquard in 1881. It is an automatically loom controlled by punch card. Look at this figure. This is the figure of Jacquard loom, and second one is figure of punch card. And the first picture is founder of Jacquard loom. Founder was Jacquard loom, Joseph Marie Jacquard. Now next point, arithmometer, a mechanical calculator invented by Thomas de Calmer in 1820. The first reliable use of and commercial successful calculated machine. The machine could perform the four basic mathematical functions. The first mass produced calculating machine. Look at this figure. This figure was arithmeter. Difference engine and analytical engine. It's an automatic mechanical calculator designed to tabulate polynomial functions invented by Charles Babbage. It also called father of computer in 1822 and 1834. It is the first mechanical computer. Look at this figure. The first picture of Charles Babbage. Second one is first mechanical computer piece. It's called difference engine. Second one is analytical engine. Now look at this figure. She was first computer programmer. In 1814, Augusta Ad Byron suggested to Babbage that he use the binary system. She writes program for the analytical engine. Now ENIAC. ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computers. It was the first electronic general purpose computer completed in 1946. It was developed by John Presper Eckert and John W. Mauchly. UNIVAC Universal Automatic Computer 1 was the first commercial computer designed by J. Presper Eckert and John Mauchly. EDVAC stands for Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, the first stored program computer designed by von Neumann in 1952. It has memory to hold both a storage program as well as data. Look at this figure. This figure was EDVAC. Now move to our next topic, computer generation. There are 5 generations of computer. First generation 1946 to 1958. Second generation 1959 to 1964. Third generation 1965 to 1970. Fourth generation 1971 to today. And fifth generation today to future. Now move to our first generation. The first generation. The first computers used vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory and were often numerous, taking up entire rooms. They were very expensive to operate, and in addition to using a great deal of electricity, generated a lot of heat, which was often the cause of malfunction. The first generation computers was followed by the IBM UNI VAC-I Universal Automatic Computer, built by Muchly and Eckert in 1951. This machine could perform business data processing. First generation computers rely on machine language, the lowest level programming language understood by computers, to perform operation, and they could only solve one problem at a time. Input was based on punch cards and paper tape, and output was displayed on print tools. Now move to our second generation, transistor. To overcome difficulty faced in the first generation computers due to the use of vacuum tubes, transistors were used in the second generation. Transistor is a small component made of semiconductor material. With transistor, the problem of heat was minimized and computer size was reduced. Transistor replaced vacuum tubes and user head in the second generation of computers. One transistor replaced the equivalent of 14 vacuum tubes, allowing computers to become smaller, faster, cheaper, more energy efficient, and more reliable. Still, generated a great deal of heat that can damage the computer. Second generation computers still rely on punch card for input and printout for output. Now move to our third generation computers. Third generation computers use integrated circuit instead of transistor. These circuits are fixed on silicon chip. Look it on this figure. The integrated circuit are fixed on silicon chips. The development of the integrated circuit was the hallmark of the third generation of computers. Transistors were miniaturized and placed on silicon chips called semiconductors, which greatly increased the speed and efficiency of computers. As the wired interconnection about the circuit component are minimized, these computers were smaller, faster, and more flexible in terms of input and output. The third generation computers satisfy need of a small business. It could carry out instruction in billions of a second. Now move to our fourth generation. The microprocessor brought the fourth generation of computers, as thousands of integrated circuits were built onto a single silicon chip. As these small computers became more powerful, they could be linked together to form network, which eventually lead to the development of the internet. Fourth generation computers use large scale ICs called VLSI, very large scale integrated. Examples are IBM PC and Apple. The fourth generation computers also include supercomputers such as a Cray series computers. Supercomputers are the best in terms of processing capacity and cost. This computer can process billion of instructions per second. Fourth generation computers also saw the development of GUIs, the mouse and handheld devices. Now move to our next point, the fifth generation. Just like five hardware the fifth generation PC based on artificial intelligence, it's called AI, still in development. The use of parallel processing and superconductor is helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. The goal is to develop devices that respond to natural language input and are capable of learning and self-organization. There are some applications such as voice recognition that are being used today. Now move to our next topic, generation of computers based on software. Now we discuss the generation of computer based on software. First generation, language. The earliest computer was based on vacuum tube technology and hardware design was in its infancy. The only way to program this computer was to enter the machine language instruction directly into the hardware. Writing program for these early computers had many limitations. Programming was tremendously time consuming. The program were prone to errors. Display debugging often took longer than writing the original program. Machine language were different for every type of computer. Now move to our second generation language based on hardware. Second generation computer language, whether it is a machine language or a assembly language, it was still tedious to provide data and instruction. Some improvements were made during the 1950s as with the development of assembly languages. Early software pioneers such as Grasshopper realized that they could write program in type of programming shorthand and then have the computer translate the shorthand notation into machine code. In this language, the code translates the shorthand code notation into the machine language. Now move to advantage of assembly language. Operations are given a meaningful name. Names are assigned to storage location. Here are some disadvantages of assembly language. Assemble are machine dependent and programmers needed very specific skill. Now move to the third generation. The third generation language is a subset of English language where designed. These third generation languages are also known as higher level languages. These third generation languages are also known as higher level languages to make machine automatically translate the content written in higher language, specially utility called a translator. The translator written in machine understandable form converts data and instruction provided into the English like higher level language into machine understandable form. Here I give you the example of higher level language. C, COBOL, Java and programming language. They all are the parts of third generation languages. Now move to our fourth generation languages. The fourth generation languages, the fourth generation programming languages reduce programming effort by just specify what to do instead of how to do. Structure query language is an example of fourth generation languages. While fourth generation programming languages are designed to quickly develop application by specifying only what to do. Now, the fifth generation languages. The fifth generation languages are designed to make the computer solve a given problem without the programmer. The fifth generation languages use AI, it means artificial intelligence techniques to meet their goal. The artificial intelligence techniques can handle appreciation and support human-like self-learning and problem solving. These characteristics help putting the AI-based application a step ahead with added intelligence in comprehension with the application developed in other programming language or tool. Now, move to our next topic, types of software. There are two types of software, system software and application software. But do you know what is software? Software plays role in computer system by creating a bridge between the computer hardware and computer user. It was created the bridge between computer hardware and computer user. Software is organized collection of data and instruction given to computers in order to perform given task. There are two types. One, system software. System software manages computer hardware and act as an interface between computer hardware and software. It was developed for business application. System software provides important functionality like booting computers properly, managing printers and other resources. The example of system software OS, it means operating system. Now move to our next topic, application software. Application software is a sort of computer instruction that provide application specific functionality to a user. This functionality may be general purpose such as word processing or may be very narrow such as organization payroll program that generates payslip in company's format. Now look at this figure, the relationship among various components, application software, system software and hardware. So they all are connected with each other. Now move our next point, popular computers. So far we have discussed that the computers operator on binary digit, it means 0 and 1. Even if the instructions are given in any generation programming language, ultimately they are to be represented into sequence of digit 0 and 1. It means binary code. The computers are also known as digital computers and analog computers. So, analog computers. Analog computers use linear combination of voltage, amplitude or currents or frequency instead of digit. That is why they are called analog computers. Some computers use mixture of these technology and hence known as a hybrid computers. Move to our next computer, personal or desktop computer. Look at this figure. This picture was desktop computer. Sorry, this picture are desktop computer picture. These computers are the most popular computer system. They are easier to use and more affordable. They are normally used by individuals for their routine business activity. Now, laptop computers. Laptop computers are portable and lightweight computers within a thin screen. Look at this picture. The first picture is laptop computers and second one is ultrabook. They are also called notebook computer because of their small size. A laptop has most of the same component as a desktop computer, including a display, keyboard and pointing devices such as a touchpad, also known as trackpad, and a pointing stick and speakers into a single unit. Now, the second picture is ultrabook. The ultrabook size and weights are thinner in comparison with a typical laptop. Ultrabook computing technology use high power, low voltage processor with long battery life. Now, this is a handheld computers. Handheld computers are also known as PDAS. It means personal digital assistant. They are smaller in comparison with laptop and can be carried anywhere. They use a pen-like stylus and accept handwritten input directly on the screen. The screen is generally touch screen. Now move to the next computer, tablet computer. Tablet computer is portable and mobile computing tool. It is mobile computer like a bigger mobile phone with a touch screen facility. You all are see these tablet computers. Now, wearable computers. Wearable computers are also known as body-worn computers. These are tiny computing devices that are worn by the wearer. The wearable computers are small and lightweight as they need to be carried on human body. Wearing such devices enables constant interaction with the computing system. There is less need to turn the device on or off. Now, next lecture we move to our exercise. Thanks.